Morning, everyone. I welcome you all to today's class. In today's class, we'll be talking about egg and chick game. It's a very simple game that most of you are familiar with. And many of you have played this game before on mommy's or daddy's phone when there's no network, that dinosaur that jumps over obstacles. So the game we are designing is something related to that. So it's for you to launch your application, you come to this start button, you click on the start button and type Scratch. Now, this Scratch free, you click on it and it's loading. So we need to be patient for it to load. Now the Scratch is loading. So what I've said about the game, I said egg and chicken game. So that should give us an idea of what are the sprites that I'll be needing for the game. So basically we'll be needing two sprites, the egg and the chick. And before we move to change our sprite, the first thing we have to do is to design your backdrop. Just as we all know that this place where the cat is, this background under this cat is called the stage. So you can design your stage to whatever you want. There are different ways to pick a backdrop. But for today's class, we'll be picking a backdrop from the Scratch library. So you move to this place and click on choose a backdrop. Now, if you have a particular backdrop in mind and you know the name of the backdrop, instead of scrolling through, you can just type the name in the search button. But for today, we'll move around. So you are free to choose any backdrop that you like. It's not a must to choose my backdrop, but today I'll be working on one, two. So now you see that the backdrop is showing. Then from there we move to our sprites. We don't need this cat sprite, but by default, the cat sprite is the default sprite whenever you launch your application. But you are free to remove it, to delete it whenever you don't need it. Like today, we don't need it, so we are taking it off. Now you see this bean symbol, that's to delete. So just once you click on it, it deletes the cat sprite. Then we move to this cat sprite library. There are different ways in which you can get your sprite as well. You can choose from the library, you can print your sprite, you can download sprite online, and you can choose sprite from your computer. But for this project, we are choosing from sprite library. So I said we are going to use the egg and chick. You can, if you like, you can scroll through, but today I don't want to scroll. So I want to type. So this is my chick, and I also need my egg. So I have to go back to choose my egg. So once I type on my search bar in here, it helps me to locate my sprites on time. So this is the head. Now the next thing to do is for every action to take place, something must trigger it. In Scratch, the triggers are always found in event palettes, in event block palettes. Now for someone to suddenly start dancing, something must have triggered it. Maybe the person has received a good news, the person has just gotten an unexpected money or something. Something must just trigger an action. So likewise, in gaming or in coding, something triggers an action. Now, so for today, we'll be using our flag as the trigger. So when our flag is clicked, we want the sprite to perform some specific actions. So now another thing we need to note, this sprite description area, sprite information area. So we have two sprites. The selected sprite will be the one that will take the code we are writing on the script area. Now, what do I mean? Now you see that on the egg, we have a border, a blue border around the egg. That shows that the egg is selected correctly. But I want to write my code on the script, on the chick. That means I have to click on the chick to ensure that the chick is the selected sprite. So that's the next thing I'm doing now. So I'll click on my chick. Now I'm on my chick, and you see that the blue border line is now on the chick. Now the first thing I want to do is, well, let me explain the game. Whenever I click the flag, I want the chick to leave its correct location and move to this side of my screen. You should leave this place and move to this side of the screen. And after that, I want it to be jumping up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. So that's the first thing I want for this chick. So now let me move it back to its initial location. As when the chick was here before, you look at motion. That will show you the original location of the chick. You see that the chick is on location X45, Y13. So when I move the chick away from that place, I'm moving to this place. Let's check the location again. The chick is now on X minus 199 and Y minus 135. We are okay with that location. So then we go to our events. Then I told you they are the trigger. So when the flag is flipped, I want the chick to go to, I want the chick to go to this location whenever I click the flag. So that's the first thing I want to do. So let's put the chick back in the initial location and let's click the flag and see. I see that the chick has gone to that location. Now, the next thing I want is that whenever I click the space bar, I want this chick to be jumping up and down, up and down. So that's the next trigger. That's the next thing I want the chick to do. So how do I achieve this? I told you a trigger is something that precedes an action. So you go back to our event. All triggers are stored in the event. So move back to our event. So we go back to events and bring out when space key clicks. Because that's what I said. When I click the space key, I want the chick to start jumping up and down. Are we getting that? I hope it's not too difficult. No, it's not. I'm sure it's not difficult. So now, when the chick is jumping up and down, it's jumping towards y-axis. When you move up, the y-axis is positive. When you come down, the y-axis, when you are moving in the downward direction, the y-axis is negative. So now, let's see. And I want it to repeat each step 10 times. So I would say you should jump up like 10 times. So I'll go to my control. I'll bring out repeat 10 times. What did I want it to repeat 10 times? I want it to move 10 steps upward. So now I'll go to motion. When it's moving upward, that means it's changing the current location of Y by positive Y. It's changing the current location of Y. So I want it to change Y by plus 10. So let's see how this works. So when I click, you see that it has gone up, but I want it to be going up and down, up and down. So for it to come down, what do you think I will do? I'm going to repeat the same step for negative Y. That means repeat the same step we took up, down, but it should be negative. But because it's still positive, you see that it's still moving up, but I want it to be negative. So I'm going to use minus 10. So my minus key is not working. So sorry, permit me to bring out my on-screen keyboard for me to bring out my negative Y. So there I'm selecting minus. So for this here, so I'll click on it, minus 10. Thank you, I'll see what I don't need you again. Bye. Good, let's continue, children. We are getting there. So let's see how this works. So when the flag is clicked, go to your correct location. When I click, can you see that it's moving up and down now? So we are getting there. We are getting there. So the next thing I want to do is to code on the egg. What did I want the egg to do? Whenever I click the flag, I want the egg to go to a particular location, and from that location, it should be gliding. I should continue to glide forever. I should not stop. No, this one just move 10 steps and stop. The egg should not stop. It should just continue to climb. But what I want to achieve is I want the chick to be on the same spot, jumping up and down, while the egg should be gliding towards the chick. So I'm clicking on the egg now, and I will say when flag is clicked for the egg, when flag is clicked, when the flag is clicked, you should go to current a particular location. So let me, this is the location I want you to come and stay. So what's the location? For me to get the location, I can go to my motion and see the location here. So can you see the location? So it's coming to this location. I'll bring it now. And after that, you should glide to this location. Now, when we bring it, for me to know the location where it will stop the gliding, it's gliding to this location. Can you see that on the glide, it has shown the location. So you should glide to this location. Now, I don't want the gliding to be too fast. So I'm going to change it for 2 minutes. So don't glide too fast. Glide for 2 minutes. Go gently. Now, let's try it now. You see that it's when it glides to that place, but it stops there. But I don't want it to stop. I want it to repeat the same thing forever, but just continue to do it. So I'll go to my motion and bring out my forever block. So now let's see. Can you see that it's spinning forever? It's gliding forever. Now, another thing you notice, you see that this egg is actually very big. By the time you start playing the game, it will make us to be losing the game. So what we'll do is let's reduce the size of the egg a little bit. So I'm going to reduce the size of the egg. I'll make it 70 so that it won't be too big. So now good. We have what we want. The next thing we want to do, you know that this game is actually not interesting now because you don't have any score, you are just jumping up and down, just jumping. But now, what the next thing we want to do is whenever we jump, I want it to start giving me a score for each jump, each successful jump. And again, I want that chick, you know that when you are playing with you and that sound, the sound gives it a particular triggers in you, it makes it more interesting. So now I want to add a sound to this game. So whenever this chick is jumping up, let me just give me one sound. Chick, 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 to make me enjoy my game. So children, let's go back to our chick. Are you there? Good. We are on the chick now. So the first thing we want to do is to tell the game that whenever I jump, for every successful jump I make, please just give me 1 mark. Just one mark. Just be adding one mark, 1 mark, one mark. So how do we do that? That means we need something to store the mark. Now in Scratch, there's something we call variable. Variable is a storage location. It helps you to store your mark and whatever thing you want to store in it. Variable is a storage location. So we need a storage location where our mark will be storing. So then that will lead us to come to your block palette and you click on variable. So when you get to the variable, you click on make a variable. You want to call the name of that variable score because we are actually storing our score inside. So we click OK. Now we have our storage location. Now the next thing is I'll tell the computer whenever I start the game, make sure the score is on 0. So assuming I have finished playing my game and someone else wants to come and play, the score will have to start from 0 automatically. So that's the next thing I want to tell my computer. So I'm going to tell the computer that when the flag is clicked and you have gotten to that location you are going to, please set the score to 0. Now please set, and I'll click on this arrow to move it to score. If you leave it at variable, it will not set it to, so you don't have to change it to score because you're actually working on score. And that's the first thing. And the next thing I'm going to tell the computer now, okay, but after you have set it to 0, for every successful jump I make, all you have to do is just add 1 to my score. So then I will say change score by 1. So when I click the space bar, change my score by 1. So let's see how this works. Okay. Let's stop it now and start. Are you ready? Can you see? Wow, Mrs. Flower is making it. Oh, Mrs. Flower, now. So, do you see that? I'm actually having fun. Wow, are you excited? Good, good, good. So now, let's stop the game. There's something else we want to do. Now, for each time I jump again, I want that chick to make a sound for me. But I want this game to actually be very interesting. I want to hear that chick, 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 chick. Are you want to hear the sound too? Good. If you want to hear the sound, let's quickly go and pick the sound. So we come to this sound up here, and there are different ways through which we can get our sound. You can choose from the library, you can record your own sound, you can download sound, and you can choose sound from your computer, and the sound that you have already saved on your computer. But because of this game, all I want to choose a sound from the library. I want to choose a sound from the library. So I'll click on choose a sound from the library. I know the sound I actually want. So if you don't know the sound you want, you can try all the sounds. So when you click on, can you see? Can you see? But me, I already have made the sound I want, so I can just type the sound I want. Yes, this is the sound. Can you see? Can you see? So now I've chosen the sound I want, so I'll go back to my code and I'll tell it to play the sound. So I'll come back to sound here and I'll say play that sound. You see that sound I choose is already shown. I'll say you should play that sound. So let me see. Let's see how this works. It's always good to test your game so that then you know if you are making mistakes. If my sound is not working, that means I'm not placing it where I should. So there's something we call the bug. The bug. The bug is the process of removing bug from your code. So when you are working and there's a bug, you have to debug the time is you have to remove the bug for you to be able to get what you want. Now, I used to now that it's giving me my sound and it's giving me my score as I'm jumping up. So I'm done with my chip. Let me go back to my head. Now, the next thing I want for this game to be interesting, like it's now, there won't be a loser, there won't be a winner in this game because everybody just, something is happening. The game is not getting over. Okay, so the next thing I want is that whenever this egg touches that chick, now, what do you think to do? What do you think should happen? The game should be over. Yes, game should be over. The egg must not, they mustn't touch each other. They must not. They must not. So, they must not touch each other. So I will not say, whenever this flag is split, take, listen, important to the egg now. You just wait until, don't stop the game immediately. Just wait until that egg touches that chick. Once you touch the chick, come on, end the game. So, are you ready? Okay, let's do this together. So, where do we see our weight? Where are we going to see our weight? No, in our what? Control, because we are trying to control how it works. So we don't want weight. We want weight until. See, now, see, you can see our weight until. What if you put ordinary weight? It will not work. The game will not work. It will not move. It will stop it automatically. So touching, we see touching in sense. So we say touching, use this touching. You bring it out and slot it inside this shape. Now, and you click on the arrow to bring out the cheek. So whenever it touches the cheek, the game to watch, game to watch, it will be over. So that means stop everything about the game. But if you like, you can, if you like, you can have the sound. Anytime it touches that cheek, you should play a particular sound. I'm not going to do that for you. I will allow you to do that for yourself. And that will use that as an assignment for you to do so that you just think and do something. But let's see, let's go. Wow, can you see it as spot? But if it did not touch, let's see what happens. Ah, not fast enough. So easy. Okay, that's all about the game. Now, the next thing I want you to do is that on your phone, I want you to say that when it touches, whenever that egg touches the cheek, you should give us one strange sound, not really one sound, one funny sound for you to before the game will be over. You should give me one funny sound before the game will be over. And secondly, second assignment I'm giving you is that whenever it touches that cheek, if the egg should break, yes, the egg should break. I will help you now to do this. For that egg to break, you see that when I was shooting the egg had different costumes. Let me click here. Can you see that the egg had different costumes? You see, these are the eggs. You see the egg that is even holding spoon. Now, you now look for this one. You just say whenever I touch it, the thing, you should switch costume to maybe egg that broke. Maybe you should choose, it should change the costume to egg B. Are you getting it? You just go to change costume to egg B and make a sound. So how will you see change costume? So changing of that costume, you see it in loops. You can just say, whenever I touch it the sand, switch costume to switch costume. You can say switch costume to just take the number of letters egg B and now put a strange sound. So you put it, so you, all this you put it under wait until. So wait until when it wait until touching the egg, you now say switch costume to egg B and put a sound and then stop on. You get that good. So I've come to the end of the day. So I expect you to just work on that. And in the next time we meet after when school is done, you tell me what you have done or any challenge you have so that you can continue from there. That's the best way to code. I should not give you everything. You should just think and do something on your own. Enjoy your break. Bye. See you when school is done.